99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info.
Yes, that was Stevie Wonder from the bottom of my heart, dedicated to all lovers out there. We love you right here from our studios, Nigeria. If you welcome to From the Front Pages, where we take a look at big stories making it to the front pages of the papers this morning. I am Sheriff Quadry. Rotimi Sankore is here in the studio. Rotimi, good morning to you.
Morning. What a wonderful day.
What a wonderful day it is. Great day it is. This morning on the program, we have The Guardian, Daily Trust, Daily Independent, Daily Sun, The Nation, The Punch, and Vanguard. These are the papers on parade this morning. You can watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is what you can search for. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch us live from those portals. Remember that we take your thoughts along with us as we go on ahead. Any headline that jumps out at you, feel free to comment on them. You can also tweet me at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. That is at Nigeria Info FM. Let's get on with the show this morning. Obviously, the biggest story today in Nigeria is coming out of the Supreme Court, Bayelsa elections. The Guardian has it this way: confusion as Supreme Court voids Leon's victory in Bayelsa. Riders, APC will reverse verdict. Oshiomhole declares Wike wants him cautioned over comment. PDP hails decision, insists on review of Imo's case. INEC awaits enrolled court order for compliance. This same headline is everywhere this morning, Rotimi.
This is one of the days when it's very easy to be the editor of any newspaper. You don't have to.
No, you don't have to sweat anything.
You don't have to
No.
No, at all. The headline writes itself. But this is a heavy test for Nigeria's democracy. I mean, I couldn't resist, tweeting a thread of questions yesterday night. But before I come to that, let me first say that unless you are completely heartless,
right,
you have to have sympathy, some sympathy for David Lyon. And honestly, not just because it's Valentine's Day.
You just have to, I mean, come on.
Look, yesterday, the guy was rehearsing the swearing in. When I saw the picture of him on the Land Rover, waving to imaginary crowd, practicing his smile, turning left and right,
It's so sad.
I mean, you have to wonder, at what point did somebody run up to him and whisper and say, "Oga, I think we can stop practicing."
I think we should.
We should just quietly go home now. Aha.
Yeah, let's be going.
And what went through his mind? Is it fake news? I mean, what happened in the Supreme Court?
It's better imagined. It's better imagined.
Look, the guy wouldn't have slept until this morning, just mulling over the embarrassment. So on that ground alone, you have to, have some sympathy for him. And if you remember, Sheriff, when he was rushed to Aso Rock to go and take selfies with Buhari, remember that I said this was premature. Why didn't they wait for the court to rule?
Right.
And I asked a question. I said, is it that they are trying to send a message that Baba has endorsed him and therefore
it's possible
everything must go according
possible.
to plan? In which case, the reverse interpretation now is that the court have asserted their independence.
Right.
To say whether he took selfie with Baba or not, the Supreme Court has interpreted their own final understanding.
Right.
Of it. But,
there is a confusion, Rotimi.
Well, look.
As to who will take charge. I mean, Dixon's tenure ended yesterday.
Yes.
So who will take charge?
Okay. So let us try and solve, let us try and solve that problem. This is a question of, was the ticket qualified or not, him and his deputy?
Right.
So if you haven't read the judgment, you are wondering what is happening, the real question that the Supreme Court tried to answer was, if his deputy was found guilty of presenting forged certificates, and the story is that on all the 4 certificates he presented, they all had different names.
Right.
So it's not like a woman that got married and adopted the husband's name, or, sometimes when you are born in Nigeria, you have 7 names. Your grandfather calls you one, your grandmother calls you one, your mom calls you one, your aunties, your brother, your friend,
True.
And then over time, but generally there will be some consistency.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one name would just know that,
at least one or two, this is
okay, this is you. This is
okay. I mean, you will have to be explaining yourself.
Right.
But as the report goes, from primary school to secondary school to first degree to any other postgraduate degree, I mean, this was all different people. So you have to wonder, first of all, was the APC screening committee actually screening anything, or they took it for granted?
Right.
The second question, of course, that many people will be asking is, if the Supreme Court in this case is saying is a joint ticket, and what knocks out the deputy knocks out the governor,
right?
What on earth happened in Kogi when the governor passed away?
Right.
But the decision was that the deputy
cannot succeed the governor.
And that everything had to be done again. And of course, people will be looking in different directions. The Zamfara case, is it similar? Is it a pre-election matter?
Right.
Strictly that they were not qualified. And if you look to Rivers State, how Amechi came to office,
right,
there was already a governor sworn in place, relaxing in the State House, and Supreme Court ruled that, in fact, it was Amechi that won the primary. And if it is the party that presents the candidate to be elected, the guy who didn't win the primary cannot be governor.
On the ballot is the logo of the party that is there.
Yes. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that we can't deal with here. We'll try and deal with it on public square as much as we can, at least with all the paperwork that we will have by then. So join us at 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
But there are some big questions.
We need to move on. We quickly,
Sheriff,
we must move on.
Let me just plead.
Please.
There are 3 big questions we have to answer. One is, what does Oshiomhole mean when he says there will be no governor? This is a serious matter. Did the PDP candidates meet the requirements?
2/3.
Yes. Did they? So does this mean, because when the court says the candidate, the next candidate that met the requirement, and PDP is crowing, does the PDP candidate actually meet those requirements? And if not, will there be new elections in Bayelsa? Will the parties field the same candidates? Who will then be acting as the governor? Will it be the speaker?
I guess we should just wait for what INEC comes out with. I'm sure that nobody slept in INEC.
So will it be the speaker? So, and just
in the interim, my question wrote to me, in the interim, will the speaker be sworn in today?
So anyway, if you want to see the full list of the questions, just go to my Twitter handle where I tweeted all these questions, under the caption, Nigeria's democracy is about to be tested in Bayelsa. My Twitter handle is just my name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can look at that and then join us at 4 p.m. when we have more answers to these questions on Public Square.
Quickly, let's move on to our next story. Daily Trust is here. IGP Southwest governors agree on a Motekun. That's Daily Trust newspaper. The same headline can be picked up from the front page of Daily Sun. Community policing, IGP Southwest governors meet in Lagos. Southeast governors on their own. Ohaneze. That's from Daily Sun newspaper. From The Nation, IG Southwest governors unite on Operation Amotekun. From the Punch newspaper, Southwest governors IG adopt model for Amotekun. From the report we got to me, the IGP was saying that the police will be in charge of that operation. That's Amotekun will be infused into the community policing strategy of the Nigerian police. The police will take charge of the training and recruitment into Amotekun.
Have you ever heard this saying that the leopard cannot change its spots?
Yes, I have.
Since Amotekun is a leopard.
Tell me, where are you going with this?
All that has happened is that the governors have made the necessary tactical adjustments for the IG to relax. Or at least for him to make a respectable retreat. The same with the AG. That's all that has happened.
Right. I mean, there's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, there is no legal excuse.
Because they're saying now that Amotekun will not be regional. It will be state-based.
We know where it is going. It is state-based as legal entity.
Okay.
The framework for the region will be there so that as necessary, it can be announced within 1 hour when the time comes. I mean, people should not be funny here. The federal government has looked at it and just, as I was saying when this thing started, it's like a Game of Thrones scenario.
Right.
It is a lose-lose situation. What is the best loss of the federal government? The face-saving loss.
Right.
And I was predicting at the time that the face-saving loss should have been that Malami will say, when you come for the Federal Executive Council, let us discuss it and work out something that works for all of us, rather than charging into the matter with his sword drawn on his horse and declaring that it is illegal. Something which clearly he would have had to back down from, because what would have been the alternative if not to order the arrest of the 5 governors and immediately splinter the APC and splinter the country?
Right.
So having backed down, the negotiations have then gone on. Okay, how do we save face here? And that's all they've done. So the Valentine's Day present promised to us was that by today, all the state houses of assembly will pass the bill.
Right.
What's the purpose of all of them passing it at the same time, identical bills? If not that it is pseudo-regional. So the message to those that are listening is that don't worry, things are proceeding, but we have to meet all these legal requirements to avoid crisis.
So to you, it's still going to be regional-based?
Oh, look, it is pseudo-regional.
Okay.
It is legally state-based.
Okay.
What they have all done is the best in the circumstances to avoid a crisis, because the country can't afford a crisis in the southwest. So all they have done is just do the legal paperwork to avoid a crisis. When the political time comes, quote me, the regional coordinator will emerge in the question of seconds.
Indeed. Let's quickly check out this story, Rotimi. Quite interesting. I have to jump out of, the order and look at this story. 1999, 2003 elections results missing, says INEC. It's reported here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, and it's on page 8 of the paper. It says the Independent National Electoral Commission on Thursday raised fears that the results and data of the 1999 and 2003 general elections were missing. The commissioner, however, said researchers did not find it difficult to trace the 2019 general elections results, which were already online. INEC National Commissioner, Election and Party Monitoring, and former member of the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, Professor Antonia Okosi Simbina, stated this during a one-day workshop to look at the proposed compendium of the results of 2007, 2011, and 2015 general elections organized by Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, Ibadan. According to her, the program focused on preparing a compendium of 2007, 2011, and 2015 general elections results because data of the 1999 and 2003 general elections results were not available.
Look, this is another case of the political elite always finding new ways to embarrass themselves and the country as a whole.
This is a shame on the country.
How can results for... Look, I don't want to be cynical even about the results of the last election. I don't even want to be cynical about it. But we have asked this question. Why are the results of the last election not online?
We're going electronic. We're going electronic kill us. Rotimi. Will it kill us?
See, the question now
because if we had put these things online.
So the question here is, let's not use electronic to confuse the issue. The question here is not electronic voting.
Right.
The question here is electronic transmission
of results.
Because once you transmit electronically, there is a record. There is a public record.
Right.
It is that public record that candidates that think something has gone wrong will use to say, well, these are the publicly available records. It does not match with A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
And we've repeated continuously how it has been done in other countries in Africa, not more developed countries.
Not far away land.
Yes. I mean, in South Africa, in the master control room, there is a giant billboard, electronic billboard, with all the constituencies listed. As the results come in, that billboard is updated electronically, and at the bottom you see the total changing, so that by the time the final thing comes in, everybody is looking at it.
Is it even true that we could not find the 1999 2003 election? Can that be true?
It even gets better.
Sincerely, Rotimi.
I have no idea.
Even be true at all?
I have no idea if somebody is pulling our leg, but in Kenya, once all the representatives of the candidates sign that this is the valid result from this polling unit, it is sent electronically and uploaded, and everybody can see. So everybody in that polling unit can check and say, is that what we saw at the end of the day? And then you can look at everything nationally and conclude whether or not it is correct. And the whole world can see. Look, if I want to pull up the results for election in India, Google is your friend.
Someone called you AKA Google is your friend yesterday.
Well, I think we should approach Google to start sponsoring the newspaper review.
We should.
If you go and if you go to India, you will get the results at least for the last 40 or 50 years.
What is wrong with us? What is the problem?
You can do your PhD on election results in India. At least I've had course to look at results for 30 years. And I didn't have to go to India.
I don't understand. I really don't understand.
So, I mean, this is something that needs to be fixed for people to have trust in the system. So that even when Supreme Court comes out with one of these, as somebody described it yesterday, wonder judgments, you can always go and look at things.
Then
look at what the law says, the Constitution, the interpretation, and there will be peace. I am so afraid. I mean, one of the things that I tweeted about Bayelsa yesterday night is that a lot of wisdom and restraint is required in Bayelsa. And these are not traits that the stakeholders are known to have in abundance. Anything can go wrong. I mean, one of the questions I even asked was, who is the police going to obey? The court order or the ruling party? Would they look at Oshomole's body language and decide that nobody will be sworn in, even if it is the speaker that is validly elected?
And constitutionally allowed in this case.
Yes, to act. I mean, a lot of things can go wrong. And if it goes terribly wrong in Bayelsa, and starts to spread, we are in prayer mode.
Yes, we are. Let's look at this headline on the front page of Daily Trust. Find coronavirus cure. Gets 36 million. That's on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's look at that story on page 7. And this is quite interesting, you know. Coronavirus is here. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Well, this is what the federal government is saying. Federal government to scientists find coronavirus cure, get 36 million naira. And the federal government has promised to give 36 million naira to any Nigerian scientist that discovers a vaccine for the coronavirus disease. Minister of Science and Technology, Adewuni Onu, made the promise in Abuja on Thursday at a standing up ceremony for one of the ministry's directors, Engineer A.O. Ifeso, who was retiring from civil service. Onu said Nigeria needed to think ahead of others in order to keep the disease at bay. He said the government would be giving more financial support to Nigerian scientists to help them come up with cure and solutions to some of the diseases and problems ravaging the country.
I'm sorry to say that we have a comedian.
This is good.
Running the Ministry of Science and Technology.
This is good, Rotimi. This is good. Give incentive.
Please, can they give incentive for the light problem to be solved? 36 million for anybody who comes up with
Rotimi, you know the numbers around the world about coronavirus. The death toll is rising. I think this is good. I think this is brilliant.
But the point is this. That is not the kind of incentive that you need to solve the problem. The kind of incentive you need to solve that problem is to fix the education system.
Yeah, but the disease is here, Rotimi.
How can you fix it without researchers that have tools to work with?
Well,
the person that is going to come up with this
they are well motivated now.
It will be, yes.
They are well motivated now.
Well motivated to do mago research.
We'll see.
36 million.
We'll see.
Sheriff, if I put 36 million on the table now and say, give me the cure to the coronavirus.
I am not capable of doing that. I'm not a researcher. I'm not a scientist.
I am telling you that it is not going to happen. 36 million. I mean, what is the person going to work with? The light can go off at any time.
But he is a scientist. He is or she is probably just still doing researches. How is she getting by? That's what I'm saying. How is she getting by? How has she been getting by?
Sheriff, just take it from me. Look, this is a comical moment in the Ministry of Science and Technology.
Good. I think it's great.
It is one of these things that defies logic. On the surface, it looks okay. It takes almost a year for a vaccine to be developed and certified. And that is even under the best of circumstances. You think the Chinese would not have sorted this problem in the last 1 month? That's $1 trillion economy.
Right.
Where light is not a problem. Look, that's a country where they are able to rush. Listen carefully.
Right.
They are able to rush tens of thousands of health personnel, civilian and military, to the epicenter.
34 aircrafts, by the way.
To try and contain it.
34.
Built 2 1,000-bed hospitals in less than 10 days.
Yes, we have heard.
And so on and so forth.
36 million naira is big.
The Nigerian government cannot build a 10-bed hospital in 10 weeks.
That is not fair.
I am telling you it is not possible. And they equip it.
We can. If we want to do it, we can.
If they want to, yes. If they want to. It is not a priority. This emergency declaration of 36 million to solve. Look, all we can hope for is that coronavirus does not land in Nigeria. The basic advice from the World Health Organization to fight this thing is wash your hand under running water. How many places is there running water in Nigeria?
Oh, okay. Yes, that you got me.
They ratcheted up the production of the hazardous material suits, and they still don't have enough. This is in China, they've ratcheted up production of the safety mask, the proper one, not this one that people wear in the bank to count money. and people are hoping it can fight coronavirus. We can't even ratchet up just basic things for the health workers in the hospital.
Listen to this similar headline, Rotimi. Nigerians in China seek evacuation over coronavirus. Government gets 2,000 doses of test reagents. Treatment protocol. Virus outbreak just getting started outside of China. So we have Nigerians wanting to come home.
Well,
they want to be evacuated.
The National Assembly passed a vote of no confidence in itself by saying that the federal government should, under no circumstances, go and rescue anybody. On the grounds that the Chinese are better equipped to deal with the problem there, and that if you catch it and you are there, that the Chinese are better equipped to look after you than the Nigerian government. I can't imagine a worse vote of no confidence in yourself. So the National Assembly has realized that they've been doing nothing in that place for a long time. Don't bring them here. Just quietly leave them there with the Chinese. This thing is more complicated than people think.
Yes, it is.
There is a cruise ship in Japan.
Right.
With, and the Japanese government said just keep it at sea while we test everybody.
Right.
The passengers on the cruise ship are over 1,000, as I understand, and not all have been tested. Do you know why? The Japanese government does not have the capacity. Yes, does not have the capacity to run more than 300 tests at a time.
Japan, no.
Yes.
The Japan that we're talking about.
So they are running the test in batches.
Well, I heard the news that the cruise ship has been diverted to Cambodia. The people inside the tourists they have alighted. The Cambodian president was even there to receive them with flowers.
What?
If Japan couldn't do 300 tests at a time,
what is our fate? At a time? What the Minister of Science and Technology should be doing now is ratcheting up the production of hand sanitizer, which I repeat is ogogoro and gel. In the absence of running water everywhere.
Rotimi, we have to go.
They should be ratcheting up.
You can check all other
basic
papers
things
for interesting,
to try and protect ourselves.
For interesting headlines this morning, all the papers I've got you covered when it comes to big stories in Moscow. Rotimi Sankari, thank you for joining from the front pages. We are back at 8 o'clock with another interesting conversation. I said it when we were launching in the morning, but because of time, I have to go now. I'll be back with my guest from Wale Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism. We'll be looking at teenage pregnancy and their chances at second chance. Let's put it that way. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Stay here.
More talk, news, and sports after this.